Hey everybody. So I'm back with another Star Trek Online video. Uh, I am currently I've been sort of noodling on doing a new video on sort of the basics of what you need and want, what sort of advice for people who not need and want, but more advice for what for free to play and players who are working on a very limited budget in Star Trek Online. Um, the reason being that some things have changed since the last time I did one of these, and there's some stuff I want to talk about. And so I want to go over some of the things that you're going to need as a budget player or free to play player. I'm going to say this right now. First off, the game is playable free to play. Like you can do almost everything in game free with a free to play player. It depends on account. It depends entirely on how much. It will depend somewhat on almost entirely on how much work you want to put into it and how much time you want to spend doing stuff to earn the stuff you need to get the cooler toys. I've done a fair bit of dilithium and energy credit sort of grinding. I guess is the best way to phrase it on this account. This is my free to play account, but I've spent exactly $5 on this account. The $5 I spent was there was a charity thing going on a while back where you got for I think for the $5 charity thing you got there were three tiers of it. There was a $1 you got like a bunch of cosmetic stuff like a pink tribble, pink vanity shield, title, and some other stuff like that. For $5 you got those, and you got a bundle that gave you the I want to say it was it gave you two ships, one Klingon, one Federation. It was the pilot escort bundle for that, and for $10, additionally you got a bundle which had the Gargarin and the Klingon Gargarin equivalent, which I can't remember the name of. Rubber banding. Boo. All right. The Shran is the Federation pilot escort. They were out of the $10 bundle. Otherwise, I would have picked up that bundle for this account. But the $5 bundle was worth it. But I didn't need that. Like it was a good thing to have. I'm glad I have it. It's a nice little addition. But nothing else I've actually spent money on this account. I've all my ships have either been stuff I bought with EC through the exchange. I saved up enough dilithium to buy one bundle off to trade in for enough Zen to get one bundle off the Zen store, and I'll go into that in a second. And in addition, the last thing have been giveaways that I've stumbled across on. I keep an eye out for giveaways on that various websites do for Star Trek Online, specifically for this account. So I've gotten two giveaways that have given ships. Hang on, let's see. Yeah, two. One got me the Somerville, which is this thing here. This is the fleet version of the Somerville, uh, which is a science ship, which is sort of this character's main ship, really. And the other is very recent. Was the one that gave the Federation Elite starter bundle out, which gave me the Advanced Light Cruiser, which is a Tier 6 Reliant, basically. Tier 6 Miranda. So, but other than that, everything else I've gotten through stuff in game. There are some basically. So the important bit is, so I'm talking a lot about the ships right now, and the reason is part of the big appeal of Star Trek Online is flying around in cool spaceships, shooting stuff, and the easy. You don't get like the end game ships are expensive, and they cost 3,000 Zen, so that's about $30, which is a lot. So anything that can get you endgame ships without spending actual money is great. Here's the thing: they do a couple of things. One, they routinely give away. They have 3 events a year minimum: the summer event, the winter event, and the anniversary event. So 3, where they give away special ships that you can't buy. I've got a few of those on this account. Let's go here. Event. Reclaim rewards. Ships. So I have managed to get the Farang Dreadnought, the Ryzen Corvette, the T'Pau Scout Ship, which is the first one I got, the Store Warship, and that's it. But they've given away a whole bunch of them, as you can see. These are all Tier 6. Well, these aren't Tier 6, but most of them are Tier 6 ships, and they're all good. Some of them are better than others. But, as long as you do those, you'll have decent endgame ships, even if they don't look like Federation ships or Klingon ships or what have you. If you're playing either Fed or Klingons or Romulans, what have you. The current event that's going on right now is the anniversary event. It's the 10th anniversary, and the ship they're doing for this is the Alliance Battlecruiser, which is a ship that was built in conjunction between the Klingons and the Federation. Some people like it more than others. I happen to like it the way it looks. I know there are people who don't, and that's fine. Aesthetics are in the eye of the beholder, as it were, and I think this is actually a pretty cool looking ship. Also, I've looked at and the stats. It's a solid battlecruiser. It's not amazing. It's not the best thing ever, but it's good. It's a good ship for free. Like, okay, do the event. Like, do the event, do the event, do the event, do the event, do the event. You still got time to complete it right now. Get out there, do the event. It's worth it. Oh, as I said, the big events, always do them. That's my biggest piece of advice for free-to-play and budget players. When an event comes up, look at the rewards. At a minimum, it's going to be they're normal events that aren't the big end of year, like the big three, are usually giving away. Usually, you'll get like a ship console or weapon, or piece of ground equipment, and like 50,000 dilithium. Worth doing, always. That's sort of the first thing I need to talk about. The second thing I need to talk about is all right. So that's That's one way to get ships is through the events. They also often do event campaigns, which actually will be here. Let me go back here. Which I've completed on this account, where the reward for it is a coupon for a free tier 6 ship from the Zen store. They won't let you pick up the ships that are quote new, but all the sort of slightly older ones are up for grabs. And I'll talk a little bit later about if you get one of these coupons, what ships you should get, because there are certain ships I really recommend being high on the list and worth getting early, and we'll talk about that in a moment. The next thing I want to talk about is earning currency in game. There are two major currencies in game that you need to worry about. One is dilithium, one is energy credits. Dilithium is mostly useful. Energy credits are not that useful for buying stuff in game from like vendors and stuff. Like there's stuff you'll want to spend energy credits on through vendors. That's not what it's mostly used for. In all honesty, that's not its biggest use in my opinion. There's stuff you'll want to buy from vendors, and I'll show you that in a second. Actually, let's do that right now. I'm going to show you the main thing I buy from vendors. It's placeholder stuff to use as you're leveling, and right, let's see. So yeah, consumables. Like seriously, this is one of the big things I spend money on. Large hypos for me and my ground team. Really, they're just handy to have. But I don't buy a lot of stuff from the vendors because I'll buy like placeholder equipment, like for my ground teams and such, until I get up in level. Main thing you spend energy credits on is stuff on the exchange, which is the player-to-player market. The good stuff's expensive, and you're gonna feel like you're a bit out of your like the stuff you really want is gonna cost you a lot, and it's gonna be hard to get to. That said, there are ways to make energy credits in game at a reasonable rate without like the easiest way to make energy credits, honestly, is if you're willing to spend real money. You buy the lockbox keys from the master keys, which are what open the lockboxes in game, and sell them on the exchange. Easiest way to make money in the game. That said, that's spending real money for in-game cash, and we're not talking about doing that right now. So, ways you can make money in-game. I'm certain I'm going to miss a few. but I'm going to talk about the ones I know off the top of my head. There are... All right, so there is a... we'll start with the easiest thing. And the thing that I recommend doing pretty much from as soon as you can get the mission. There's a mission you can run once per day that will earn you energy credits. That's what its purpose is. It's called Tour of the Galaxy, and by the time you get to late game, you can actually routinely make, like, by the time you get to late game and have, and if you've built the right bits of gear and such, it is possible to basically make about 1 million energy credits a day with it. I'm going to show you basically how I do it, and my setup for doing it is. All right, let's go to the Alpha Quadrant, which is where we start this. So this is the path I take maxed out. There are other paths you can take, and before you're maxed out, doesn't really you could do the Delta Quadrant, the not Delta, the Alpha Quadrant, starting the Alpha Quadrant, the Beta Quadrant, sorry. So I head over here towards the Breen system is where I start. And let's slipstream over. You will get your best results out of it once you get to level 50 and get Quantum Slipstream. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to mention is this becomes a lot easier if you have a ship that has some form of advanced Quantum Slipstream. The Miracle Worker cruisers have it. The Star Cruisers have it. The Ryzen luxury yacht has it, and there are a few others. Most of these are cash shop ships. I'm not certain if there is anything that's free that has the that has it improved. I don't remember. I think there used to be. I'm not sure there still is. All right. So, what am I doing? I am using the Fleet Gagarin Miracle Worker Battlecruiser. Now, I'm going to say this first. You can get this is a cash shop. The base version of this is a cash shop ship. This is the Fleet version, and I'll explain why that's important in a minute. But if you can get the Gagarin, it's a very, very good ship. The baseline one. I'll explain more detail why in a minute. But the important bit is that it has the cyclical quantum slipstream drive, which basically you stay in slipstream, which is basically sprinting in most MMOs, longer, and it cools down faster, which is big. So it's fast. It gives you a longer sprint, and it recharges more quickly. In addition, I am using the Gamma Synergistic Overcharge Warp Core, which gives you improved speed in sector space, so your normal warp travel is faster than normal by a noticeable margin. Additionally, it gives you 60% extra slipstream speed, 100% better turn rate in slipstream, and it halves the cooldown it has the cooldown on slipstream. Yep, 100% slipstream time recharge. Also reduces the cooldown of transwarp, which is nice. It's a really good warp core. This is from the Gamma Reputation. This is one of the first items I would recommend picking up from recommendation for any player. Additionally, it's extra important for budget players because it's going to help you do this more efficiently, and you'll be able to complete more systems, which gets you more energy credits. Additionally, I'm going to swap I'm going to swap over to this impulse engine. This is the Mako impulse engines. It basically increases your maximum warp factor. I'm not sure if having run some tests, it stacks slightly with the Gamma Core. It's a minor thing, but it's a little bit of extra speed, which doesn't matter a lot, but yeah. So what the Tour of the Galaxy mission is basically you are going to be flying from system to system, in a pattern that you'll be told what they are. Each system you visit gets you 25,000 energy credits. You also get bonus energy credits for completing visiting a certain number of systems and completing a certain number of rows or columns. Net total is roughly 1,000,000 credits, and you can do it once per day. Technically once per 20 hours, but, you know. So you go to Journal, go to Available, Tour the Galaxy from JEM. There's a Klingon equivalent of it. Hail, accept, map, and we're going here. First system visited. They're highlighted in yellow. Moving on to Ferenginar. All right, we are going to, once I level out, activate Slipstream. Here we go. Now, where you Slipstream will depend on what your Slipstream cooldown and speed is. It'll vary. I honestly don't know what the correct answer for it is. I don't know what the optimal choices are. All right, now this turn here might be doable. This, I'm not going to be able to make this turn, so drop out of Slipstream. Down to Beta Z. Notice my Slipstream's back up already. It's a little glitchy, but... Alright, let's go. Corwin. All right. Algia. So yeah, this is basically, it's, as you see here, look over here, we're getting 25,000, 25,000, 25,000, and some exploration trade XP. That's something I'll talk about a little bit later, maybe. That's for duty officer mission stuff. So yeah, basically when I'm clicking on the map, it means that it's going to definitively take me to that system, when I click on it. So that's why I do that. It means I'm not going to miss, and it means I'm less likely to miss, I should say. The detection of when you're flying through the system is not perfect, but it's usually good enough to... off, Slipstream. This is the last system here. We go to the transorb to the Azure sector. We've completed the beta quadrant, so we're off to the alpha. Between the alpha quadrant, we're off to the beta quadrant. They reversed. They relabeled them the other way around originally, and I'm still stuck on that. All right, off to Gamma Raiden. All right, and then we're going to loop around this way. Basically, the path we're going to take is going to be going like this. We're saving the slipstream for where we'll actually be able to use it for some length of time. Which is basically we're going to go from once we pass New Romulus, we'll kick on the slipstream. And basically use it to get down here and a chunk of the leg from Kronos to Sanic. On to Kronos. On to Sanic. Drop out of slipstream because we're going to overshoot if we don't. We're going to cut. It's going to try to loop around this way, and that's going to suck. So, and we'll have this means we'll have slipstream up for that leg, which is nice. All right, slipstream up again. Go. Basically, you'll notice I am adjusting speed occasionally. That tells the game that I want. Basically, turns off auto navigate so that I can not just, you know. We're going to cut slipstream there. So again, I'm going to want slipstream for that leg there. From here onto there. Because this thing stays in slipstream for like 2 minutes, and you're never going to be able to stay in slipstream that long. Like, it basically is going to get you from point A to point B most times, which is one of the reasons I like it on this ship. I like the ship a lot. This is a really good ship overall, and I'll go into, again, why it's one of my recommendations for an early pickup in a minute here. But we're going to hit this here. Notice we still have about 6 minutes left. There. Plot course to Nimbus. See if we can make this turn. Nope. Drop out. So again, I'm going to want it for a lengthier leg if we can get it recharged by the time we get to Tenebia. Basically, the goal is you want Slipstream up for as many long legs as you can have it for. Almost to Risa. Drop out of Slipstream. Come around. Argelius. Alright, so we're cruising up this way, and then we're going to come back down this way here. And we're going to slipstream from Vendor to Virenat down to Arcanus, most likely. Yeah, we'll have Slipstream up for that run. I could turn on Slipstream earlier, but it would basically be just for this leg here, because we're never going to be able to make this turn in Slipstream easily. There are ways to improve your Slipstream turn rate more. I don't know if it's possible to get to the point where you actually can make turns like that easily. There we go. Yeah, occasionally it doesn't register that you made the autopilot selection, and that gets annoying, and it costs you some time. But even if you're not, by the way, even if you're not completing this, like if you're getting like even half of it, it's a significant chunk of EC. You should be. It's worth doing basically every day. Well, it's worth doing daily, basically. If you're willing to log in and play daily, it's worth logging in, spending 15 minutes on it to complete the Tour of the Galaxy and get the EC if you're a budget player. All right. To Virenat, Slipstream. That turn. Nope, which is fine because we're almost done. We still got 2 minutes left. And with the speed we actually move at in Slipstream, even out of Slipstream, we're actually pretty fast. So, just not like nowhere near as fast, but still pretty darn fast. So I think with the Gamma Warp Core and the Mako adapted impulse engines. With almost any ship, you can do well on Tour of the Galaxy. You won't complete it, but you'll actually be able to do a lot of it, which is very nice. So yeah, we're almost done here. We're about to hit Trailus, and that will complete Tour of the Galaxy. And that's worth about a million EC. You see, I can do it again in 20 minutes, 20 hours. So once per day, totally worth doing. That's about 1 million energy credits right there. Second thing to do to earn energy credits. I mean, obviously, you'd be able to get... Basically, just doing missions, you'll get stuff that you don't get much in the way of energy credit rewards, but you often will get equipment. Some, like, random, like, crappy equipment from, like, drops and such, and... Stuff you get from drops usually can be salvaged, and that will get you, basically if you right-click, I can't show you right now, but let me switch let me switch impulse engines just because I want to stop the one thing I don't like about the about this impulse engines is the sound effect it makes. It kind of annoys me. But yeah, so Tour of the Galaxy is huge and important, and this ship's very, 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 very good for it. Second thing that's eminently worth doing once you hit level 65, I think when you hit max, I think it's when you hit level 60, but I'm not positive. It might be when you hit max level, which is 65. You'll get access to the Endeavor system. Endeavors are worth doing if you can do them. Basically do as many of the endeavors as you can do every time they pop up, because they not only do they give you reward boxes, which will often have basically is always has useful stuff in it, especially for a budget player. Some of it's more useful than others, but it's always stuff that you will be able to find some use for. I'm going back to Soul for a reason, because I stashed a couple of... So here's the thing. The Endeavor reward boxes are bind to account. Which means they can be traded freely between the characters in your account if you have an account bank. The account bank is one on my list of things that is very much worth investing in at some point, for exactly the sort of reason. Because the very nice thing about having multiple characters is it gives you multiple characters in which you can refine Dilithium, because you can only refine 8,000 a day. Dilithium is a very important currency. And most of the Dilithium you earn in game is unrefined. You have to refine it to make it usable as a currency. And you can trade Dilithium back and forth without needing a bank, but trading anything else between your characters is so much easier if you have a bank. It's an account bank. It's worth it. It's worth the investment, and we'll get to that in a second. But you get these reward boxes. These are the two I got for doing these two. I did them on one of my other characters. This one was doing polar end damage in space, and this one was collecting crafting materials on ground. That character can't get into the Voth Dyson Sphere, which is why I saved these two for this character. But this is the uncommon personal endeavor reward. Look at that, 50,000 energy credits, done. The very rare. Let's see, total of 150, 300, 350,000. So between those two, I earned 400,000 energy credits, and that there, and 100 marks. Nice. Is there anything I want reward-wise? So, oh, that's right. I'm saving up for that, and I need 10 marks for that. So, bam. Let's slam those into Terran marks. Making progress. It's a piece of rep gear that I want, and I'm almost there, which is nice. All right, so I could go off and do these here, but I don't think I need to show that right now. Basically, you'll get the universal one is actually no, I do want to do that. I think. Let me check. No, don't have enough. Okay, so the other thing is that every 20,000 perk points you earn, Endeavor points you earn, you get a perk. And you'll get to choose between 3 random perks. And they run the gamut from improved critical chance in space to exotic damage in space, projectile weapon damage. Basically, it's all useful abilities. There's a reason. Do your endeavors. They're worth doing. Do them as often as you can. Hang on, Ack. If we go to the endeavor thing, we can see what they're worth. The very rares are worth 8,000 points. The rares are worth 3,200. The uncommons were 650, and the universal is worth only 400. Here's the deal with the universal. The universal has the best actual reward box. You get 5 random entries off the Dilithium energy credits, mark choices, R&D materials, and specialization point XP. Which is so yeah, do it. Do your endeavors. So that's a good way to. It earns you energy credits, and I'm sitting on like 24,000, which is not a ton, but it's enough to get useful stuff, which is nice. That's where I've gotten a lot of. I've got with those energy credits, I've gotten a bunch of traits for very useful traits of various sorts that have made me more effective. I've gotten some gear through it. I've gotten universal consoles, a couple of ship traits, and I got a few Tier 5U ships, which are very nice. Now, on to So that's how you get the energy credits. Always look for ways to earn dilithium. You're going to want that. There is the Droza. God, what is it? Hang on. Let me go to the missions here. Available in progress. Available, is it? Yeah. Where are you? If you go down here. Yes. Ishil. She's a Ferengi. She owns mineral rights on an entire field of asteroids. You can go there and mine dilithium. It's not a ton per day, but it's like 1,000 or so. You can do it once per character per day if you want to. Other things that you can do to earn dilithium. Doing TFOs will earn you some dilithium. Doing patrols will earn you some dilithium. Completing a lot of story missions will give you dilithium as a reward. I think that might only be the first time. I'm not sure. But yeah, basically, the other big thing is that other two major ways to earn dilithium are through reputation, the reputation system, and through the Admiralty system. The Admiralty system, basically, you get little cards for each ship you own, that you've owned, and you use them to send them on little sort of basically Facebook game style missions. Let's set up a few here. Like safe trade route. Here we go. Click on plan. So we need to get 45 engineering points, 75 tactical points, and 45 science points to complete the mission. This will get me 630 Federation, United Federation planets points, some actual XP, and faction-specific prisoners. Yeah, the prisoners I'm not that excited by, but So I've got a boatload of ships. These are all acquirable in different ways. At any rate, some of them are ships that you get. Some of them are unique that are just Admiralty things. All right, so we're looking for tactical stuff. So we'll throw the Fikiri warship in there, which gets me most of the way on everything, which is nice. And I guess we'll throw this here, escort, and we need a little bit more engineering. Throw that in there. There we go. And so you go through. This one's not worth that much experience, but it's got dilithium dust, which is nice. This one's very hard, but it's worth a lot of experience. The events can modify, what the difficulty is. Like this one adds 75 tactical to. Let's do this one just because it's easy and it gives me dilithium, which is always good. More dilithium. How close am I? That'll do it there. There we go. That one's worth it. But yeah, so you go through, you do these. And basically what you want to do is you want to complete the let me just go back. Wrong window. Damn it. My bad. Sorry. So basically you'll notice that you have experience bars. When you get to 10, you get you've maxed out the campaign, and you will get an Admiralty ship card and I think 30,000 unrefined dilithium. You also occasionally get missions that are labeled Tour of Duty. They go up from 1 to 10. When you complete all 10 of the Tours of Duty for that, you'll get a reward. The Klingon one and the Ferengi one give you 30,000 dilithium. Romulan gives you 4 Romulan Republic Universal Tech upgrades, which are used for upgrading your weapons, obviously. And the Federation gives you 2 skill points, 2 spec points. They're all worth getting to. Basically, you want to max all these out eventually, and you also, once you have them all maxed out, then you just sort of go through, send ships on, and try to find ones that are worth either energy credits or dilithium, pretty much. And that'll help you there. That's one way. The other way to get dilithium is once you have all your reputations up as high as you want to get them, and I recommend getting to 6 on at least one character on your account. Once you get there, the reason you want to get to 6 is it allows you to buy both the account-wide discount, which discounts all the reputation gear for that reputation on all characters in the account, which is nice. But also you can get vanity shields, which are cool. I don't think any of these characters have not any. I don't think I've done not. Yeah, there's one that's not on here because I've claimed on all of them. From all of them, is you can get bound to character fleet ship modules, which I have on here somewhere. Where are you hiding? Did I put them in my bank? I might have put them in the bank. Nope, there they are. I've got 5 of them. So you must be in a fleet that's... You need to be in a fleet to use these, but what they'll allow you to do is they'll either allow you to if you've got a ship from the cast shop that you want to get a fleet version of, which is... The fleet versions are all slightly better than the baseline version, the cast shop version. But they don't have like the trait or gear that comes with the ship. But that's nice. You can also use those to just buy the fleet version. It costs you 1 fleet ship module usually to get a fleet version of a ship you already own. It costs you 5 to get the fleet version of a ship you don't own. And if you don't care about the trait or the unique gear that comes with the ship, that's worth doing. You can get a tier 6 endgame ship that's got all the endgame stats and stuff without spending a dime. You just need to get your reputations up to 6, get enough fleet ship modules, and be part of a fleet that shipyard's high enough to get the hulls you want. And there's some very good ones that you can get that you don't need to spend money on, which is very nice. It's a great, very nice thing, nice way to get an endgame ships. Good thing to keep in mind. The other important reason that you want to get your reputations up is once you've got everything you want from the Zen store, from the stores here. Like, you've got. There's nothing I want to spend discovery marks on. Let's say there is, but let's say there isn't. You can click on trade on marks, and I could trade in 3 of the spore canisters for 1,000 dilithium, or 50 marks for 500 dilithium. This is a great way to earn dilithium. Again, you just do stuff to earn you marks, which is stuff you're probably going to want to be doing anyways. And once you've got all the stuff from the rep store that you want, just start selling the marks off for dilithium. Dilithium is really important because there's so many things that you want that cost dilithium in the game that are very good. As I said, you don't spend EC on stuff in game. You spend EC on stuff on the exchange, right? Dilithium you can't spend on the exchange, but like most of the good rep gear costs at least some dilithium and some energy credits, but not very much. So that's a dilithium cost. You can buy if you go to the assets tab and go to the store. Let me find my dilithium. Special items in boxes. Like, there's stuff here that's not like super exciting. Improved hangar pets, which is nice. There's gear you can get from your fleet, from the various fleet holdings that cost some dilithium in addition to fleet credits. That are really good. So that's going to be a cost. Hangar pets are a cost. There are weapons that are pretty good that cost dilithium. But the most important dilithium thing in game that costs dilithium, in my opinion, are 2 things. Either you spend dilithium with the upgrades for the crafted upgrades to upgrade your gear, or you spend dilithium on Phoenix prize packs. Phoenix prize packs, let me actually demonstrate this. I don't have 40,000. I prefer doing a stack of 10. Because they're cheaper that way. Hang on, let me transfer. Actually, this is good. I'll show you how you can transfer dilithium between characters while I'm doing this. So, change character. Let's log into my Jemadar character. So there are two things that you're really going to be really spending dilithium on. Phoenix prize packs, which I think are very worth picking up, just in general, and you'll see why in a second. Yeah, he's got 50,000. So, all right, go to the exchange. You click on the exchange. This is where so in the exchange, people can sell Zen, the cash shop currency, the stuff that you spend real money on to get that you can buy stuff from the cash shop with, for dilithium. The other big thing that dilithium is used for is for improving your fleet, and it's a way to earn fleet credits. Really, really important. Upgrading your fleet's your fleet being upgraded is very important. So, and it's a good way to it's often a way that's open for players to upgrade to get fleet credits by spending dilithium to help upgrade your fleet to get fleet credits to buy stuff from your fleet with. So you can buy Zen. Currently, they're selling for about 457 dilithium per Zen. And which means that a cash shop ship usually runs. I'm going to quickly open up my calculator here for a second. Hang on. Let me get a calculator app. So it's 457 dilithium per Zen. A ship from the cash shop costs 3,000 Zen times 457. That is 1.37 million dilithium that you have to earn across your account to buy a ship from the cash shop. That's a lot, but it's doable. It takes time, but you can get there. There are other things that come first, in my opinion, but keep that in mind. But if you want to transfer dilithium between your account, you can do it through the exchange in a very simple way. Set your dilithium price to minimum, where the price that nobody is going to like. Okay, if someone lists Zen for 25 dilithium per Zen and you're able to buy it, oh darn, sell it back at the upper prices. I mean, so all right, we've got 50,000 Zen. It's 25 per Zen. That's 2,000 Zen right there. We've got 50,000 on the nose. Bang. It goes into my outstanding offer. Oh, look, it's not. No one's taking me up on the offer. I guess I will cancel the offer. It goes into the exchange balance, refined dilithium. Change character. Go to Dashra. Dashra is my main character on my free-to-play account. But my general advice is have one character who's on your account that's your main character. The character you're focusing on leveling up, and have a bunch of other characters that you gear up to the point where they're fun but aren't maxed out. Wait to max them out until after you're really done maxing out your main, is my general advice. So sort of focus your early acquisitions and expenditures on making sure your main character is as good as you want them to be. Go to the exchange. We will withdraw the 50,000 dilithium. It goes into our refined dilithium balance. Look at that. We now have 80,000. Go to the store and we'll buy 20 Phoenix packs. I've been meaning to buy some Phoenix packs anyways, so this is actually a good time to show this. All right. You just double click on them to open them. You get little token things here. Okay, I got mostly uncommons, but a few other ones, which is nice. All right, so if we double-click on them, it brings up the Phoenix Packs Prize Redemption. There are, as you can see, 5 tiers. From uncommon, which are the ones that are marked that are 5 there. Rare, very rare, ultra rare, and epic. Uncommon, what you can get with the uncommons. And this is where the bulk of what you're going to be using your Phoenix Prize Packs for is in here. Various tribbles, which are useful bits of gear. I would not recommend getting the combat pets because they're one charge. They're charge. Emote unlocks. Those might be something you might want to get for fun. Cosmetics are kind of fun. The Sunkatse gloves and Sompek personal shield might be worth grabbing. That's up to you. But the majority of it is going to go into Phoenix Universal Tech upgrades. These are bang for your buck, the best upgrades available. They don't cost you any dilithium to use. They cost you dilithium to get, basically. They give you a truckload of tech points, which is the amount of points it costs to upgrade a gear from one mark to the next. And they have they unlike the other most of the other free upgrades, they have a standard quality improvement. They give you a chance to improve quality. So very worth having. We're not doing that yet. Rare tier. There's an admiralty ship here worth grabbing. A bunch of duty officers that are probably worth grabbing. A bridge officer who's not bad, might be worth grabbing. The blast assault, it's an okay weapon, might be worth grabbing. The Sompek Lightning is actually a very good kit module. Or you can trade it in for 2 Phoenix prize packs. of tier 5, the tier lower. This is always true. You can trade one of the tier you're on for 2 of the tier below it. Very rare. Has some other very good stuff in it. The Rise of Mini Power Board. This is used for the summer event. Red Matter Capacitor is an okay ship device. The interface adjustability is a very nice little console. Same as the Voth Phase Decoy. Crystalline Spike, okay. Not a big fan of the Hyper Impulse engines. The Zephram Cochrane's shotgun's very nice. Energy Torpedo Launcher. These are all useful bits of gear that you can grab. The dual pistols are very nice. These are all worth looking into, depending on what you're doing. Or you can trade in for 2 Phoenix prize packs. There's good stuff here. Ultra rare are a bunch of tier 5 ships. These are the old tier 5 event ships. These are solid ships. They might be worth grabbing. The Epic tier are the tier 6 event ships. You're not likely to get one, but if you get one and you don't have one of these ships, you can trade in your token for one of them, and that's nice. So thumbs up. You're not likely to get them, but the reason you're getting these realistically is in my opinion, is getting the trading them in for Phoenix upgrades, which I'm going to do here because that's what I actually wanted. I want to make sure I have enough. I want to have some Phoenix upgrades in case I need to upgrade some gear. So I got 29 of them, which is a little bit below average for the 80,000 Dilithium, but it's not bad. And just joink. And they end up in my R&D. All right, so I'll go put those in my bag. Other things that you can do for energy credits, the loot drops you get from fighting stuff, and like various rewards. If you can take a look and see if it's going to sell for something on the exchange. Most drops are not worth much on the exchange, so I really wouldn't bother selling them there. If you're going to sell them, you can, if you want to get rid of stuff from your inventory, you can either, if it's crafted, you can either right-click on it, like this here, and go to discard, or you can go to the replicator and go to recycle stuff. I don't recommend doing this, and the reason being is if you sell stuff to a vendor, you get more energy credits out of it. Not by a lot, but it's some. Other thing is that the loot drop stuff can be salvaged. You right-click on it, and it'll give you, if it's salvageable, it'll give you an option to salvage. I think, yeah, I could salvage that, and it'll give you a, do you really want to salvage this item? I don't, actually. I want to hang on to that. Salvage gives you salvage points, which are something you need to change the mods on your weaponry once you get to that point. I'm not going to go into that right now, but salvage is very useful. It also gives you crafting mats. You can use these crafting mats once you get your crafting high enough, your R&D, to basically you're going to want to get your R&D up to 15 in each school before you start crafting stuff. Now there are a couple things you can do, ways to make money with your crafting mats. You can craft stuff to sell them in exchange, and there are a few things that sell pretty well. Or you could just sell off the crafting mats in the exchange. Either or is fine. Basically, just take a look and see what things are worth in the exchange, and sell the stuff off that's worth selling off. If you're planning on never doing crafting, just sell your crafting mats. It'll get you some energy credits. It might not be a lot, but every little bit helps. Additionally, one thing that sells pretty well are weapons with the pen mod. Specifically, so like the really low end ones are like you can build basically you're not guaranteed to get weapons with that mod, but building Mark II weapons is pretty cheap pretty inexpensive once you get your crafting up to 15, and just build a bunch of them. Sell off the ones that look like, and sell off the ones that look like they will make you some bank back on the exchange. Stuff with penetration on them usually sells pretty well. That's what things I would recommend. So craft to sell off stuff with pen on them, probably worth doing. It's going to be time consuming and annoying. It could be time consuming and maybe a little bit annoying, but it's crafting and selling off stuff with pen on them, worth doing. But yeah. So those are little ways to make energy credits. Okay, so now we're getting to the bit about where I'm going to talk about what stuff that you want to buy from this cash shop. There are two ways to get stuff from the cash shop. Either save up a lot of dilithium and exchange it for Zen, or you spend money. It's roughly every 100 Zen is roughly $1, basically. So that means that tier 6 ships, which are the endgame ships, their baseline cost is $30. It's a lot, and I can totally understand not wanting to spend that much money on it. Which is the reason why I said that, do all the events that lets you get the free tier 6 ship coupons. So what I'm going to talk about now is the first ships you should look at with your coupons. These are also ships you should look at early for getting with energy credits. With getting with Zen if you want to buy ships. All right, so if you're looking at them, the stuff I've picked up here, except for that. The three ships I would recommend most, honestly, are the Gagarin Miracle Worker Battlecruiser, which is the ship I currently am flying. The reason being is it's got a very useful trait, which is the Entwined Tactical Matrices. It's a very good trait. It's a very good ship that you can set up in a number of different ways. So it's a good ship to fly. Like, it's just a really good battle cruiser. It's got a really good trait that's just generally useful. And it's got the cyclical slipstream drive, which lets you do toward the galaxy more efficiently. Thumbs up. I would also recommend the Arbiter Battlecruiser. It's got a really good ship trait, and it's another solid ship. The third ship I would look at after that is the Narenda Support Cruiser. That one is because its trait is really good. It's a solid cruiser, but it's not as flexible in terms of being able to do in terms of builds as the Arbiter or the Gagarin. There are KDF versions of all three of these ships. They are equally good. They're worth picking up if you're playing KDF instead. After that, look at the ship traits and see which ones make most sense to you. You could do some research, but those are the first three I'd look at, honestly. They all have very good traits and are very good. They're worth picking up. That said, those are not the first things I would spend money on if you're actually spending money on Star Trek Online. The first thing you buy in Star Trek Online, my personal opinion, is you spend 500 Zen to unlock to get rid of your energy credit cap. If you're a new account and haven't bought that, your energy credit cap is 15 million energy credits. If you spend the 500 Zen, it goes up to 2 billion. Which means you basically never have to worry about how much energy credits you can hold on a character. That is the best 500 Zen you can spend. After that, there are a few other things that you want to look at. For 1,000 Zen, you can get 10 slots in your account bank. I recommend getting that at some point if you can. Again, these are things that are worth trading your dilithium in for Zen to get. So keep that in mind. These are in, I believe, slots and services. Yeah. So account shared bank slots, very, very good. Energy credit cap increase I've already purchased. The Elite Services Starter Pack is actually very good and is worth buying on your main character. You can only buy it once per character, but it massively increases your inventory in your personal bank. It gets you 2 bridge officer slots and 3 skill retrain tokens are nice. So, all nice stuff. But I wouldn't buy that one first. What I would really consider doing, if you're willing to spend money on the game, is drop $20 on your faction. So either if you're Federation, Klingon, or Romulan as your main character, the Elite Starter Pack. What you get in it is a Tier 6 ship, which is a good ship. All three of them get a good ship. They're not the best ships in the game, but they're all solid. The Feds get if you're Federation, you get the Reliant class, which is this ship here. It's basically a Tier 6 version of the Reliant from Star Trek 2. It's a good ship. 12 inventory slots, 12 bank slots, 2 bridge officer slots, a Borg bridge officer, and the Borg bridge officers are actually very good. They're very good engineering bridge officers. 14 Mark II very rare space gear, 7 Mark II very rare ground gear. Those are only okay. They're not really. It's nice. They're nice to have. They're fun to start. It's nice to have. They're not great. and the Starfleet Academy uniform. It's cosmetic stuff that's fun and free. These are nice to have thrown in. The rest of the stuff is really good. This is a Tier 6 ship that you're getting for 2,000 Zen. It is 33% the price of a... It's 60. It's 2/3 the price of a normal Tier 6 ship, and you get, in addition to that, inventory slots, bank slots, a bridge officer, and bridge officer slots. It's a really good deal. The Klingons get the Tier 6 core bird of prey. It's a Tier 6 Brill bird of prey. It's a decent ship. Not great, but it's good. The Romulans actually get the best ship out of the bunch. They get the core, so they get the Malum Light Warbird. That's probably the best of the three, in my opinion. It's basically the same as the core, but it's a little better overall, I think. But it's 6 of one, half a dozen other. Pick the one, whatever faction you're playing, basically. The nice thing about the core is the nice thing about picking up the Romulan one, if your main character is Romulan, is it means that every character will have access to the core that you build in the account. Doesn't matter. Actually, no. It depends on which faction. I think every character in your account will have access to your core, which is really nice. So this is probably the best buy of the three. But if you're primarily playing Federation, pick the one you like best, basically. After that, then you might want to get the Elite Services pack for your main. That said, so after that, so that right there is 2,000 Zen for that, 1,000 for the account bank, and 500 for the credit cap increase. So that's 2,000, 3,000, 3,500. It leaves you. So that's 3,500 Zen. That's about $35. I would say there are where they sell Zen on this on their website through the Arc launcher, I believe too. You can buy Zen either either in the bundles of 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, or 20,000. So at 10, 20, 50, 100, or $200. If you're buying 5,000 or up, you get a few extra bonus Zen. You're probably going to want to buy I would recommend buying, if you're going to drop the money on it. Seriously would consider getting the 5,000 Zen pack and pick up all three of those. That'll leave you 1,800 Zen, which is not quite enough to get anything. Well, I mean, you could, at that point, I think it's 800. Let me do the math here. It's basically, you get 300 bonus Zen for the 5,000. So it's 50. You get 5,300 minus 500 for that, 1,000 for that, 2,000 for that. Yeah, you have 1,800 left, which is not enough to get anything right away. But well, I mean, you could at that point buy the Elite Service Starters pack, so that's another 1,000 off. At least you 800 Zen. With that 800 Zen, you could sell that off for Dilithium. You could buy you could buy. There's a lot of stuff you could buy, actually, honestly. You could buy some cosmetic stuff, which is fun. Gives you some wiggle room to pick up some stuff, or you could save it and trade Zen in, trade Dilithium in for more Zen and buy something else you want. So it's a good chunk of money, but it's a good way to go. And these are all things that you will probably eventually want with your. But the starter packs, the 2,000 Zen starter packs, are all pretty darn good. Like the Gamma Vanguard one gets you the Jem'Hadar Vanguard Dreadnought Cruiser, which is a solid ship, and once you completely max out its mastery ranks, it's available to every character in your account because it's completely cross-factional at that point. You get the playable Jem'Hadar Vanguard species, which is they're very good. The Jem'Hadar Vanguard are very good. The tactical uniform, which is cool, and those fit your life and you get some titles, which was fine, I guess. And it's 2,000 Zen. So again, you're getting a Tier 6 ship for less than normal, with some extra stuff. Nice. The Age of Discovery one is okay. I don't recommend this one because you don't get a tier 6 ship out of it, you get a tier 4 ship out of it, which is not that exciting. But you get some inventory slots, which is nice, and an XP boost and some other stuff. I got this for free. I got it from a giveaway, so I didn't spend money on it. The Temporal Agent Starter Pack. This is another one I would seriously consider. Honestly, for that 1800 Zen, I would seriously consider saving up enough Dilithium to get 200 more Zen to get the Temporal Agent Starter Pack if you're Fed aligned. Why? You get the Tier 6 Paladin Battlecruiser, which is fine. It's not a great ship, but it's good. But you get the Tier 1 Constitution class cruiser, and you get a bridge officer too, which is nice. The 0718 Android bridge officer is actually kind of fun. It's a good bridge officer to have. Also, you get the RIP uniform, which is the original series RIP uniform, which is cute, but not amazing. But the Constitution comes with phaser beam arrays that are blue quality, so they're not top quality, but they're solid. But they level with you. So basically, when you've created the character, you can just claim the Connie, pull the weapons off it, dismiss it, claim the Connie, pull the weapons off it, dismiss it. Do that until you've got a full set of beam weapons that you can just slot on phasers that you can just slot on your ship, and not have to worry about upgrading them until you hit level 50 or 60. You don't have to worry about replacing them ever. They level with you, and they'll be solid weapons. In addition, you get a decent tier 6 ship out of it. The Paladin is a very solid battlecruiser. I'm not a huge fan of the way it looks, but it's a solid ship. So, this is another good thing to think about picking up. So between the Reliant and this, you'll have 2 tier 6 ships, both of which are solid. Some weapons that you'll be able to use that will level with you, which is nice. And 2 bridge officers too. The Liberated Borg and the Kelvin Universe Android. Kind of neat. Something to think about, at least, basically. But those are places I'd seriously consider spending your actual these are ways to consider spending the resources you earn in game. And but yeah, that's the sort of thing I'd recommend. So, basically do the things that you can do to earn energy credits that I went over. Tour the galaxy, crafting and selling off weapons with pen, doing your endeavors, make sure that if you do sell gear that you can't sell in the exchange, to sell it to a vendor, not through your replicator, because that will make you a little bit extra cash. Just look at the exchange to see if you can maybe buy low, sell high some stuff. Doesn't hurt. You can also, if you really want to, if you're swimming in Dilithium, sell off your Dilithium for Zen and buy master keys and sell those off in the exchange. That'll get you a nice chunk of EC. Keep an eye on giveaways so that so that you can get some stuff from giveaways. There are usually a few that are worth doing. There aren't a lot of them right now, but keep an eye out for them. They're worth grabbing when they're available. Farm Dilithium, sell it, and use that for the stuff you need to use it for. And again, the game is, I would say, slightly improved if you were willing to spend some money on the game. I would definitely say it's definitely worth buying the energy credit cap increase and the shared bank, and maybe dropping some cash on a tier 6 ship you really like. Get something that I wouldn't don't necessarily want to buy the best ships. I mean, make sure you're picking up something you're going to want to use, basically, if you're spending money on it for the most part, unless you're getting it cheap. As I said, those starter packs are really worth it, mostly because they're cheap. The ships are good, but not the best. If you want to know what the very best ships are, you can do some research. A good source for getting a look at late game starship builds would be the STO builds Reddit. Just sort of surf through it, look at what ships people are building around, look at builds and such. You can make almost any ship worth using, but it will take investment. But yeah, those are my recommendations. Another important bit that I was going to mention, the nice thing about doing Tour of the Galaxy, as I said, you're getting about 1 million EC a day. If you save up enough EC, you can start buying master keys to open lockboxes if you really want to, and get some of the cool stuff from lockboxes. I don't recommend that, but it's something you can do. What I would recommend instead... Oh, right, that's the other thing I want to mention. If you want ships that are not quite endgame, if you take a look, do a search for special requisition packs. There are a few ships in here. These are tier 5 ships, not tier 6. They're just on the cusp of being endgame ships, like being the very endgame ships. The ones I'm going to point out are tier 5 U ships, which means they're upgradable to just below tier 6. They don't get a trait, but they do get mastery ranks, and their stats and bridge officers and consoles are very close to tier 6 ships, which means they're actually very playable for basically, if you get one of these, they'll be playable throughout the game. The Ferengi Decora is a really solid ship. I'd actually recommend, for 3.2 million, it's really worth picking up. I have one on this character. The Undine Nicor, 3.3 million. Like, again, this is another ship that's worth picking up. People are selling these off on the exchange. They're worth grabbing. And I have these already, so, on this character. So, like the Decora, the Nicor. The nice thing about the ones I'm going to point out is they upgrade from tier 5 to tier 5U for free. Not all the tier 5U upgradables do. Tier 5 ships that are upgradable do. The Decora... The Mirror Universe ones are not upgradable, so it's something to keep in mind. They're not bad ships, but they're not upgradable, so I would hold off on them. The Stribler Arbes is not terrible, but doesn't upgrade for free. I'll show you what you need to upgrade them. The Lundakari Nakam doesn't upgrade for free, but it's a good little science ship, so it's something to keep in mind. The reason that they don't upgrade for free, I'll show you, and is the cost for upgrading them is not cheap. Mesh Weaver is another one that's good, but needs to the thing he doesn't upgrade for free. Yeah, the Decor is probably the best bang for your buck ship available right now, I think. That used to be the Bastion, but they actually removed the Bastion from the game when they introduced the tier 6 version of it, which I think is unfortunate. I would have left the Bastion in. I'm actually mildly upset about that, honestly. Where's the other one that's actually good? The Herodian Hunter is another heavy escort's another one. 4 million. Like, literally, that's 4 to 5 days. Like 4 to 5 days of Tour of the Galaxy. Let's say you can only get halfway through. 8 days. You can get a solid endgame ship. Not like the solid ship that you can play through almost the entire game with. The Herodian Hunter and the Ferengi Decora are both very good ships. I really do recommend them. The Kazan Heavy Raider I do not recommend. It's a piece of crap, in my opinion. The Tholi Mesh Weaver is a very good one, but doesn't upgrade for free. That's his problem. But yeah. Take a look at these. These are all... I mean, even the ones that don't upgrade for free are actually, solid ships mostly. The Mirror Universe ships are okay. They're fine. They might be worth picking up for Admiralty stuff later on, honestly. And they're flyable. I mean, they're just not as good. But in order to upgrade a Tier 5 ship to Tier 5U, upgrade most of the Tier 5 ships to Tier 5U, the ones that are upgradable to Tier 5U, unfortunately requires a ship upgrade, which sell on which are sellable through the cash, which require cash up cash and go for like 19 million each. Ow, that's a lot. I don't think it's worth it. Not for a Tier 5 U ship. It might be worth it if there's a Tier 5 U ship. That if you look it up and look at its stats, you can look them up on the. If you basically do a search for Star Trek Online playable starships, it'll bring up a Gamepedia page that you can look at. You can look at the stats for basically every ship in the game. If you go down to the cross-faction ships and look at the Tier 5 section, you'll be able to look at the ships that are available and see if you can find ones that you might want. The The ones that don't upgrade, some of them are okay, and they might be worth upgrading, but it's a lot of money. But well, a lot of money. It's time. Again, if you're getting 500,000 a day, 19,000 is 30. It's a bit more than a month. And fleet ships modules are 14 million, and so admittedly, you need 5 of them in order. So basically, to get the 5, you need to buy a ship that you don't have the Tier 6 version of. Is about 70 million energy credits. So that's going to take you a good long while, but it's a better ship. I think it's more worth your long-term investment. But it might not be. It depends on what your personal preferences are. Also, honestly, you can get those just by playing the game and getting your reputations to 6. So you might be worth using your EC for that, but honestly, you're better off buying a decent Tier 5 ship that auto upgrades, like the Decora, the Nicor, or the Hirogen Hunter, and then spending your EC on like universal consoles and space traits and such. Like there are traits that you're going to want that are worth picking up. Something like, for instance, Terran targeting systems is a space trait. Gives you plus 15% critical severity, just flat out. That's worth. If you get crit, you slow down, but it's a phenomenal trait. Context is for kings, 14 million. Each second while in combat, if you did not take damage the past second, you gain a damage bonus. Otherwise, you gain a bonus to your damage resistance. So basically, you're either going to be, if you're being shot at, you'll be becoming harder to hurt, and if you're not being shot at, you'll hit harder. It's a very good trait. One of the new traits that dropped into the game. Adaptive offense. It's about 4 million right now because there's a lot of them in the exchange. It's very available. Basically, it gives you bonus crit chance, and if you get a crit, then it trades some of that in for additional crit severity. It's a really nice little trait. There are a bunch of traits there are a bunch of good space traits that you're gonna want. Look for them, and there are some ship traits that you can pick up that are worth picking up off the exchange. If you are Federation aligned, look for Honored Dead. It is cheap and it gives you a bunch of survivability. Really worth looking into. Another one that you might want to look at if you're Fed is Standoff. Basically gives you bonus damage if you're shooting at the front. If you're shooting at the front shield, front arc of the target. It's actually not bad. It's more expensive for Romulans, but it's a good trait. If you're Klingon, that's not what it's called. Shoot. Crap. I can't remember the name of the trait. Hang on, let me look this up. Let's see. That's not it. It's not it. No. That's it. All right. We're looking for superior area denial. If you're KDF, superior area denial is really good and available. You can't get this. You can't get this on its own as just a trait if you're Fed. Much the same way that you can't get Standoff or Honor Dead if you're Klingon and you want just the trait. These are tied to Tier 6 lockbox ships, and they make the trait and stuff available to the other factions on their own, which means they're cheaper than getting the ship. So I would really recommend like Superior Denial. Basically, when this trait's slotted, activating Beamfire at will or Cannon Scatter Volley will cause your weapons to debuff a foe's armor resistance for a short duration, which is really nice. Also, if you happen to have Hangar Pets, it activates the same ability on your Hangar Pets too, which is cute. But yeah, these are things that are really worth looking into. Other ones that might be worth looking at that you can get through here. Black Alert's okay for Klingon players. Not great, but it's there. Ceaseless Momentum is okay for Feds to pick up through this. They'll be fairly cheap. Layered Shielding is okay. If you've got a bunch of credits and you're playing Klingon, oh man, that's how it's called. It's if you've got a boatload of money, you can look for the cross-faction bundles, which will have some useful stuff in them. Like the D7, like this one here has the trait render the ruin of enemies, which is a solid ship trait, and render visible, which is a boost energy. It's a console boost energy weapon damage and aux power, and you can also basically smack someone around with it by forcing a Klingon battlecruiser decloak and ram your target, which is kind of funny. Intel Dreadnought has a real. This one's for KDF. This has target rich environment, which is a great trait. Preferential targeting is a solid trait. The bombardment warhead's okay. These are all very expensive, so I'm not sure they're worth picking up. These are things like you might want to consider for late game stuff, but you know. But yeah, these are all things that are things that are worth looking into. Ship traits. Might be worth picking up some equipment off the exchange. There's lots of stuff that you can look into. There are a bunch of useful universal consoles that are actually reasonably priced. Just do a search for console universal. If you're using phasers, cutting tractor beam is cute. I don't know how good it is, but like approaching agony is actually, if you're using phasers, this is actually a really good console, and it's like $3 million. There's just a bunch of useful stuff that you can pick off the exchange. Just take a look through it, and And as I said, you can make about $1 million a day if you really want to. So you'd be able to earn your way up to getting some of this useful stuff, and So yeah, long story short, very playable game if you're working in a budget or afraid to play, but it's going to take some time investment, basically. But hope you find this helpful, and we'll see you again in the future. Thanks for everybody watching, and if you like the video, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the future. Take care, everybody.